So as you can see here is my single cam, aka single jingle, aka trash. Yeah, so it actually runs pretty strong. Surprisingly, it needs some valve seals because it's a little smoky boy. But other than that, it revs happy, it revs strong, it revs great. I was actually really happy with the motor, except for the fact that things like finding an exhaust header for less than $150 was pretty much impossible because nobody modifies these things like that, and they're really hard to find parts for. So a header for this thing was like $250 or something like that. It was pretty absurd. So it just wasn't worth it to me. And some other things like wiring harness. Oh, hello, rat's nest. Yeah, so the previous owner, whoever that guy is, or whoever did this at the time, at the life of this car, has completely ruined this entire car's wiring harness. It was an automatic car that was manual swapped, and it's needless to say, it was half-assed. So I uncovered, as I was starting to try to clean up things, I uncovered a lot of nightmares like, I don't know, starter wires that just had push button start wires spliced into it but not done properly. It was just wrapped around an electrical tape. Great. Fan switch inside the cabin, that wasn't wired to a relay. Oil consuming every single part of this wiring harness. Look at this whole harness is like that. I mean, it's an 89, what do you expect? It's almost a 30-year-old car. I get it. But at the end of the day, you can clearly see that whoever had this car did not really care to maintain it, more or less try to keep it running and get rid of it. So it is what it is. So out with the old and in with the new. So this is a K24DE from an S13. And I also have a transmission from said S14 that this bad boy is going to attach to, and we are dropping it in this hunk of junk. So what's gonna happen is I've already got tons of parts, rebuild parts, gasket parts, everything for the head. I need to get some stuff to rebuild the lower end. Timing kit, water pump. I need to change out the distributor. I have an S13 lower intake manifold coming, which has a proper S13 throttle body. So we're gonna basically take this bad boy, pull it apart, refresh it, and possibly send it off to machining depending on how bad it looks internally. And if it looks bad, then we're gonna send it off, get machined, all cleaned up, new bearings, maybe just throw in some, just rebuild pistons and stuff like that. Not gonna try to do anything too crazy just because I want to get the car back on the road. And but we've got new motor mounts. We've got the alternator from the single cam is gonna swap over to this one. We've got all kinds of fun stuff for it. This car, I even upgraded the radiator, Mishimoto, and dual fans and hoses and all that fun stuff, and try to keep everything healthy, like I said, and it just was not good enough. Additionally, we're gonna go through the whole suspension, and we're going to replace pretty much 100% of the suspension components. This car also had the power steering stripped because the rack was blown out, so they just pulled the bracket, pulled the pump, pulled the lines, pulled the reservoir. They pulled everything, and they just ran it like this, and it has been horrible. The steering has tons of slop, so we're gonna replace the rubber bushing on the steering rack as well. Once all this stuff comes out, we've got a new trans mount, we've got tons of new interior parts. We've got a head unit coming for it. The windshield's gonna be replaced. We've got a super dope JDM tight Duraflex body kit that everybody hates, and I understand why, but we're gonna make it fit. We're gonna clean it up. I've replaced the seals on this thing. We're gonna get some floor pan stuff done. We have a new seat that I used to run from my Genesis coupe, a Recaro RS3 or SR3. We have short shifter and new bushings, and we have one of these things, if I can find it. Yeah, crackless one of these. Those are always great to find. We've got a dash cover coming in because I can't seem to find a crackless dash, so that is just what it is. Need a new fender. What else? The whole car was plasti dipped. It was trash, so I'm gonna strip down the whole car with dip dissolver and a pressure washer at some point, and replace that. Sand it all down and get it prepped, because one of the other things that we had the opportunity to do was we submitted for a vinyl wrap contest with a company out here in Georgia called Rapstar Atlanta. Shout out to Jimmy, he's the homie. He's actually the same guy that wrapped the Genesis, and I don't know, I need to update you guys on the status of the Genesis coupe as well. But yeah, so we won a contest through him. So basically we have a free wrap coming, and yeah, so I want to just get this whole car properly prepped so that can happen. Additionally, we're collabing with another shop called SS Custom Coatings. Shout out Skylar, another homie, who is going to, once we get rid of all the dip and stuff like that, he's going to take the car, he's going to get it all smooth and all prepped up and ready to receive that wrap as best as the car possibly can, so that we can actually display the car. So I've got a 5-lug swap coming also. I got a Z32 front calipers, all new rotors, all new brake pads. Yeah, so we need some frame rail stuff done. Probably gonna do front and rear bash bars. Shout out to the homies over at Top Garage. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming for this car. We got some new headlights that we're gonna do a feature on that we kind of got a sponsorship with. And yeah, so tons and tons and tons of progress with this car. We've got probably, I'd say at this point, like 85% of the parts in that we need. That was 100% of the parts that I needed yesterday, and between yesterday and this morning, it dropped down to 80% because there's a ton more stuff that we're gonna replace.